Welcome to Little Wrist, Big Fist.
What's happening?
What's happening? What is happening?
We're back.
We are back in action, and in this episode, we had the Garret Hayes as our special guest with us. The Garret Hayes.
And he runs the Kirkwood House, for those of you that know.
Yeah, Kirkwood
about
Live.
The Kirkwood Live.
Yeah, and we just kind of talk about, entertainment and the back end of what goes into that, audio.
There was a lot of good conversations had.
A lot of audio, a lot of graphic, a lot of video, little photography.
Yep. And how really we didn't go, usually we talk about it a little bit, usually we go through someone's backstory in the podcast. And this time we kind of took a different route because Garrett's he's full of information, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's a smart fella. So, and
we'll have to obviously get him back because there's a lot that we could have kept talking about. But we also kind of took a look into like what's needed in the journey of building experience and moving forward. And
sacrifices you got to make.
Discipline.
And, discipline and being willing to work for free was a big topic of conversation.
Yeah.
Ben, this will be a two-parter, so here's part one.
Two-parter, yep.
And as always, shout out to our sponsors.
Shaw Audio, Strong Body.
I thought I had the sample, sorry.
And Amp Entertainment. And obviously, always, sincerely, we always thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Said your name 3 times today, but I held my tongue before I spoke again. I took my dog down to the park, he ran away. How I wish he knew I felt the same as him. Damn it, that's a true story. Somebody tried being honest with me, and I guess
All right, boys. Well, welcome to
Little wrist, big fit.
You had to end with yours, didn't you? You had to. I wanted mine.
Little wrist, big fit. Little wrist, big fit.
I got something for you.
I don't know what's happening. Oh.
Little wrist, big fit.
Yeah, so by now you probably know that this is
Little wrist, big fit.
that was very well placed.
Yes, sir.
My friend. And we are sponsored by
Strong Body. We need to get some for the other sponsors too. I feel like they're left out.
And Shaw Audio.
And Amp Entertainment. Did you say that?
No, I did not.
Oh, and Amp Entertainment.
Correct. We need to talk to Isaac about getting a soundbite from him.
Shaw Audio. Blah, blah, blah. That's what I'm thinking.
Shaw Audio.
Something that's like rock with guitars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Set it off, dude. Set it off.
Set it off. And on this episode,
You sound like me after I've been drinking.
yeah, local grocery store.
Where's it at?
I have no idea.
I'm working at the local grocery store. I drank too much on a podcast. And that's what happened.
Yeah. So if you don't know who that audible oof came from, that is our special guest, Garret Hayes.
What's up, guys?
Welcome, brother.
Thank you. I feel like you guys need to have like a roaring applause button that you could just like
see. And
Do we have anything? Oh,
It's a blank page, brother.
money.
G. Hey, it's G.
Money.
there it is.
In the building.
Oh my gosh.
If you guys don't know Garret Hayes, though, he is the brain behind Kirkwood Live.
I do the things.
Do the things.
So this dude throws house shows and records the audio and the video and makes music videos out of them and also throws killer shows all at the same time. And you do a lot of the work,
Yes,
right?
I do.
Like,
yeah.
Who does audio now? Maccabee?
Yeah, Maccabee's doing all our audio.
Maccabee.
Woo! Let's run that back.
Maccabee, duh. MC.
Maccabee. That's
The-
like literally
the MC.
his tagline now.
Maccabee?
Yeah, it's like Maccabee. It's really weird.
Oh,
There was like a 10-minute. We spent like 10 minutes one time of him just into a microphone going Maccabee. And
then
Maccabee.
listening back?
Yeah, like listening to him.
That's so
this.
funny.
I picked this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, like blowing him out with reverb. Yeah, it was great.
That's fun.
It's like the hardest thing to do, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
One of the hardest things to do. It's almost like
What, make a tag?
Making a tag is almost as hard as naming yourself. Like your artist name.
Bada boom, bada bing. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
It could be difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like artist name is a little bit more difficult. I feel like I never settle on one, but
yeah,
I could come up.
The good thing about the
with
tag is you can
tags.
always change that.
You just come up with
But
more.
rappers have or producers have the dopest tags now.
Yeah.
Like Tay Keith has a dope tag.
That's Drake. That's just Drake.
No, yeah, but I'm saying like, who else has one that's
Something
Slim Thug did one for him.
for Take Heath.
No, for someone else.
I don't
I'm
even
trying
know
to think
Take
of-
Heath. I only know DJ Khaled's. I love it.
You don't know.
We the best.
You don't know
That's my
Take
He's
Heath.
awesome.
No.
Oh, well,
It's
I can't.
Take Keith. F these N words up is the whole.
Hell
Take
yeah.
Heath.
Oh, I have heard
Take Keith.
that.
Fuck these up.
I have heard that. That's
Yeah.
pretty lit.
Every
I
time
like
you hear
that.
that, for people that don't know, I love explaining this to people. So whoever listens to the podcast knows now that whenever you hear a little sound bite like that at the beginning of a rap song, it's usually because the producer made the beat and they put a tag at the beginning, and it's so cool. I just think it's so cool.
I do
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It's so dope. It happens a lot, but if you don't catch it, you don't know. People think it's part of the song, like, but
Yeah.
when you hear it often, you're like, oh shit. That's how I found out who Mike Will was. 'Cause
Mike
back in
Will
the
made
day,
it.
I used to download. Remember live mixtapes?
Yeah.
I used to download stuff off there all the time, and I would download just full mixtapes, and I'd listen to the whole mixtape. I used to mow yards when I was younger, and I just put my iPod in and mow yards and listen to these whole mixtapes.
Okay.
And I started hearing this
Mixing them tapes, boy.
Mike Will made it, and I was like, what? And I was like, oh, it said produced by Mike Will. Mike Will made it, and I was like, oh, this is dope.
Everything I've ever heard from him, I love.
Dude, he's good,
He's
and he's
amazing.
versatile.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He's very versatile. Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
was
dig
one of
that.
my main inspirations when I first started making music. I used to watch his Joe Light Die.
Yeah. I brought it over because I was like, maybe this will be cool. I'll like show
Well,
it
that
to
was
him.
impressive.
And then I was like, I literally said, do I need to grab my charged batteries? And I was like, nah, I'm just going to show it to him for like.
Your demo has ended.
Yeah, this
Please
is-
purchase.
Yeah. So you can
Risque.
compare the beginning of the video to right now, and you can see what you like and see if it makes an audible difference to you or a visionary difference to you. I
Yeah, there you
guess.
go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
So
No, that's
Garret,
hilarious. I love it.
through
Yeah.
Kirkwood, has acquired, and that's something else I'd like to touch on at some point.
Yeah.
Like all the gear that you have acquired or sold or went through, because of course I want to know about gear. But you've went from doing a bunch of audio stuff to a bunch of camera stuff, and now you do both.
Yeah.
And I don't think you ever really slowed down on the audio stuff. You just started to pick up the camera stuff. But I know, give and take, you have to focus on one for a little bit. and,
Definitely.
like,
Which do you
definitely-
prefer?
Definitely the video.
Do you?
Video, I think, is really fun. I
it's
really
so
like.
fun.
Yeah, I really like audio, and I really like video too. And either one you pick, both are expensive and both take a lot of time.
Yes.
But the video, I guess for me, it was kind of like it's a little bit like a market option, a little bit of saturation, a little bit of, I guess, my own thing. So the main thing is I just love seeing what I can do with video. And I feel like I don't like video as much as I do when I have it paired with audio or when I have it paired with like special effects, like what Matt
Really?
does. Yeah, like Matt
Yeah.
Doe's style of video. Like he doesn't do audio, but he does like sound effects and stuff. Like
Yeah.
when you compare video with something and you make something, I really like that.
One of his recent videos I saw had sound effects and stuff
Yeah.
in it, and it was.
Yeah,
Did he use After Effects stuff too?
probably.
I don't
he
remember.
He does a lot. He does quite a bit of video editing stuff, but I don't
He's
know.
like it's an extravagant way, I would say. Like it's a
Yeah.
very I don't know. It's vivid
Yeah.
the way he edits, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, he does like a lot of like, recap videos of like music and parties and stuff. And I don't know, to get back to what you're saying, like audio or video, one of them is just that I have more fun going out and doing video than
Yeah.
I do like recording.
I get
or
that,
than
yeah.
I do mixing. Like I'd much rather So like when I did audio for like Natalie Madigan, for example, or Allie Burgess, both really good examples because both make beautiful music. When I mixed the song, I was like, wow, this sounds great. Like, this sounds super cool. Mm-hmm. When I put it to the video, like legit, like tear came out of my eye. And I don't even think we have these videos out yet. But like that, to me, the visual payoff to me does it for me a little bit more than the auditory payoff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the main thing. And then secondary,
Seeing is believing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, for sure. I'm here for that. Seeing is believing. Yeah. You know, hearing it was one thing, but when I saw it, I was like, damn, like that girl killed that shit. Hey, I'm here for it.
Seeing is believing. That's
I had to think about it, but I was like, yeah, you know what?
That's good.
Yeah. So I guess when it came down to it, I either had to pick audio or video. Not really, but like I had to pick which one I was going to focus on more.
Yeah.
And I went with video just because I was getting so many more opportunities for it.
Oh yeah.
And
that makes sense.
Yeah, like I have not been really hired to do audio more than like twice. And one of them was really cool because it was like for Amy Grant, which I told you about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one was just like a local gig to run audio, like a bar or something. I forget what it was. But it was just some like front of house gig for like local bands.
I would have to say it's just not.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it for me. Live does not do it for me.
Yeah, I've never been paid to like record someone in studio or anything, and it's a little bit harder to get work because everyone here, it's kind of like being a singer-songwriter and trying to get work here. It's like everyone here is a singer-songwriter, so you have to be really good. You can't be like good. You have to be amazing.
Yeah, you have to be exceptional.
Yeah, you have to be exceptional. So, and with audio, it's kind of the same way. Like if you're not willing to invest and, you know, spend like all the money into gear and everything like you guys have and like, you know, like I have or something, it really is hard to compete. You know, it's hard to be like, you know, I'm going to go, like when I started, I was shooting on a GoPro and I was like, I'm going to pair my GoPro to my audio and it's going to be great. And then I was like, this is freaking terrible. So, so it's like, you know, I had to invest.
He said, well, wait, hold on. I got to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Yeah. And a part of it was because I also didn't have lighting, but it was just like no lighting and like a low quality camera. I was just like, this is not going to do it for me. And one of them. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I need more cameras and like, you know, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, the main thing is passionately, I'm a little bit more towards video and opportunity wise, I've gotten a lot more gigs doing video and I've seen it as a less hard to flourish in thing. And it's just like audio. You can be exceptional, and then you'll make, you know, millions. Like, you know, like Ben Sherrill's doing well. You know, Matt Doe's gonna probably do okay. He's got to tighten some things up, because I'm coming for him. But shout
out to Matt Doe.
Yeah, shout out to Matt
dope,
Doe,
man.
Yeah.
His name should be Matt Dope.
I know. There's so many puns you can do with his last name.
Yeah.
Like, I always say Matt Doe's photography, like, you know, or Matt Doe's video. Anytime he gives me a file, I rename it to that.
It's Matt D.O. I always thought it was Matt Do.
I did too. I was like, oh, that's that Matt Do guy. And they were like, no.
Nope, it's Matt Doe.
Matt do not.
Matt
It's Matt
Do
Doe.
not. No way.
Matt do not say
Big
that.
skirt. Yeah.
Big skirt.
Big skirt. Yeah. But,
so more towards video. That's been your thing for how long have you been? Like, when did you do the GoPro stuff?
That was December of last year. So it's been like 13 or 15 months, a year and 3 months. That's when I started.
Okay, so okay, now I got you.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I was confused because
the year before
2017.
Yeah, 2017, 2019 now. Yeah, and it was just like I don't think I've owned a camera until about like 7 months ago. Because I would just borrow Maccabee's camera for like ever, and it was the T5i.
Yep.
And I was shooting on it, and it was great. But you know, it was just like I can only get so far with this, you know. So I had to make that decision of like, am I going to invest into more audio gear? And I already have, you know, like you said, like enough to record a full band and like for a venue and everything. And I was like, I can do this, but the money that I'm making from this isn't something I can do for the rest of my life. Like doing the house shows and making the videos and stuff there. Like I've made some side money, which is cool, but like I can't do that when I'm like 28 or 30, or if I ever want to have a family, or like, that shit is whack. I'm sorry, but if you think like it's cool, it is cool to do when you're young, but it is not cool to be doing. You know, like there's
for a long term, it's not.
There's some people in Nashville that are like DIY, and they basically are just DIY versions of me, but they're kind of more put together, and they like do it at venues, but it's still like that style. Yeah. And they're, you know, and I'm just like,
it's not sustainable.
Yeah, you just can't. I know you can't have money. Like I know you can't be like taking vacations or doing what you want, or like buying things, and I have an eye for pretty things.
Yeah.
So,
well, and then like you said too, like gear's expensive, dude.
Gear's expensive,
Gear's
man.
expensive. Like how much that camera run you?
Oh.
No, actually, how much did that stand run to you?
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking.
I got this on Black Friday.
Okay, still.
So it was $500, $575. And
thank God you went on Black Friday.
Yeah, same with the camera. I got both of them on Black Friday.
Nice.
So normally the stand is $900 and the camera is $3,000.
Wow.
But
See?
I got the camera for $1,800 and I got the stand for $5,000.
Speaking of,
and it's not
deals.
a stand. It's called a Ronin S. Just for anyone.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Sorry, dude.
Just for anyone that's like, what the fuck? The $500 tripod? Like,
oh yeah,
know?
True.
Damn right. Who's that, Redbird?
Yeah.
Some diamond teeth.
But dude, what I was gonna say, by the way, my boss told me that his wife's into photography, and he told me about a camera that she just recently purchased that was not cheap, and so that kind of tells me that she probably has another nice camera that she's gonna get rid of, which she told me she's gonna get rid of a camera, but didn't tell me what it was. If you're interested in it, I'll let you know.
Potentially.
Okay.
I have all the cameras I think I need right now.
I just know that he might come off of it for a pretty good deal. So
I mean, that could be a good deal for you.
It's I thought about it, but I need to calm my titties.
Yeah.
So
here's one thing.
Because I did think about it. So
here's one thing I do think
it might be out of my budget too.
No, I feel you. Here's one thing I do think you should think about, because I was toying around with this idea.
Dude, give me something to think about.
I really.
You want a drink, dude?
I'm 100%.
Why you eyeballing my drink, dude? Huh?
Risque.
That was good.
Yeah, I've been waiting to use that.
Me too. But you got it.
I got it first.
Yeah.
Money.
I'm on it today.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what else is up there. I don't know what's up here.
Sure. But what are you making think, please?
Trying to make me think about something.
I really think that the way the market is going is more towards like video things and like graphic design. And I think if you have a knowledge in video and graphic, meaning social media.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's
you will have a very successful life. So and if you can do audio and video and graphic,
then you sold.
Well, that's
will
actually
have an unstoppable
I'm
life.
not gonna lie. That's actually, while you were talking about audio versus video earlier, that was actually something that I was like, man, I might talk to him about that later. But I might as well just talk to you about it now because we're sitting here talking about it. I have done. I won't say like I've done a bunch of video editing.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some. The most in-depth stuff I did for AMP. Now, it was for educational purposes, so I could probably just go ahead and say this, but I straight swoop graphic videos off of YouTube and then use those to cut into my video.
Yeah.
But all the other video was stuff that was like shot from the school, from our shows, or with my GoPro, or small stuff like that. But anyway, I had a ton of fun doing that, and that involved a little bit of audio, but not mixing or anything. and that was like a little bit of graphics, and editing, and then a little bit of shooting, but I wouldn't really consider that shooting. But I really enjoyed the editing process.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If you can figure out the trio, the combination of, which is why I said I would eventually move to Premiere earlier when we were talking, because if you can do like good graphics, and if you can do good video, and you can do good audio, then like you can literally do anything. You can make like corporate commercials for like anyone, you know. You get like a Colgate commercial, and that's your whole
this was
year's rent right
this
there.
is what have you graduated yet?
No.
Okay,
Summer.
so we're summer. This is exactly the mindset that I was in. I need to hang out with you more. This is the mindset that I'm hyped right now, because I'm serious, because this is the mindset that I was in when I was graduating. I was pissed off because everybody in my class was like, oh, it's gonna be hard to find a job, like moping because audio is so saturated around here.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you idiots, like Alexa's coming out.
Be more diverse.
Exactly. Like the Google Pod or whatever, the Home Pod from Apple, there's going to be audio jobs in there. There's a whole market of audio jobs just in that. Okay, then hop over to podcasts. There's a bunch of, I know someone that's working for a podcast right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, depending on what you can do, but also it's a lot more marketable if you can do a bunch of different things, and then also you can pick up a bunch of different gigs. So like I picked up like Christy Hoop's Indiegogo campaign video. I made that, but it wasn't anything in depth. It was like small stuff. Like it wasn't really that, but I enjoyed doing it.
Well, let me say this before I forget. So imagine then if you were good at lighting, audio, and video and graphics. Because if you're good at video, you're good at lighting. So like imagine that. Like let's use these two examples. One, us here right now, and two, the Christy Hoops thing you just said.
Okay.
So if you could do all three of those things, the reason I say your job description is basically endless is because like you could, you know, your production here would be like immaculate. You would know exactly what video needed to be done. You would know exactly what lighting needed to be made. You would know exactly how the audio needed to be worked on. And to kick it all off, you could have some super kick-ass motion graphics or like intro clips. Like you could
for the podcast.
Yeah, and your podcast
quickly. I could make it quickly.
Yeah, and those are all the things you need to have a successful production. Is like if you want to shoot like a movie, you need good audio, good video, good graphics, and good lighting. Those are all what you need. So if you can get good at those things, you can produce anything for Christy Hoops. You could have made her album artwork, her photos, her music video, her audio, like you know what I'm saying? Like, you can do, and it's so, because
all that to say, I mean, you do have to be really good at all those things. So it'd take a shit ton of time, obviously.
Yeah, you do, but the way the world,
look how good you got in a year.
Yeah. So the way the world's going is labels are dying. Everyone's do it yourself. So that's what I'm saying. If you can couple, you don't have to do all of them. Like,
being able to do just audio and video would be
being
good.
able to collaborate, like we talked about on that first time we did radio, being able to be with a few people who can do those things and be like, I can do a little bit of all the things, and so I pick people who can do a couple things better than me, and then when they're busy or something, I know how to do that, and that's fine, but they can like really knock it out of the park in like audio. That's Maccabee, right? I can fix anything in audio, but Maccabee can do it better. It might just take me a little bit longer. And then, you know, lighting, like my friend Daniel, I was shooting this little short today, and video, like he can do anything in that, but I can still do that too. But I'm like gonna like let him do that, and then I might just do audio, or I might just do, you know, something else, or like the graphics or something. Yeah. So but here, you know, you have Dusty for graphics, and you know, you can do audio, and you can both do like all the things. And so if you can like find some small people to split those jobs up and make the chunks smaller, then you don't need that like huge like label or something. Basically, I feel like the world's going to DIY. Everyone's self-distribution, self-promotion, like the blog we're doing right now. You know, we're not in like a big studio. Like all these things are going towards the more that you can produce as a human being, the more likely you are to be set. So if you just start learning how to do that shit now, like...
Yeah, because a lot of the artists, and I mean, just speaking on music, like a lot of the labels for artists, they want you to have everything. You have to have, I mean, we learned that when we first came here for school. Like, that was the first thing that they said, you better have, like, if you're an artist, you better have an EPK. And everybody's like, what's an EPK?
And those followers better be way up.
And they better be real, too.
And they better be real.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, very good point. But yeah, you have to, like, as an artist, just as an artist, you have to have everything done. So like us as freelance, it's really hard to do just one thing. And I mean, that's kind of happened with a lot of the stuff that, at least, especially when I was in school. Now I'm not really in a lot of the community that does and needs all those things. Because at the time with AMP, I was always around to do something for someone. So someone would be like, hey, you know how to do this, right? And I'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, yeah. And then I would just figure it out. Like, if I didn't know how to do it, I'd figure it out. If I could do something like kind of like that, then I'd just go the rest of the way. And I learned something there, learned something here. So I did more of that. Now, pretty much, especially since, I'd say especially since Daniel, Chloe, and Austin, I worked with them pretty much since then. I've done exclusively audio stuff. Yeah. And it's working well for me now, but it would be nice to do some other stuff too.
Yeah, it's just a way.
It'd be really fun too, because I do enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just a way to, like, I guess, be able to, like, do more, because I don't know, I feel like everyone has those needs, and that's all, you know, like, working really is like figuring out, or freelancing. It's like needs identification. It's figuring out, like, oh, this person needs this. How can I fulfill that? You know, so it's like, if you can do a little bit more, even if you're not, like, it for me, it's like, I know I don't have to be the best at it, because if I get a big enough job because somebody knows that I can do all the things and I can tell them I can do the bigger thing, if I have more people, then, like, an artist can come to me and be like, hey, like, I know you singularly do video, but, like, I also know that you can get together a full team for a full live tracking thing. You know, then it's like, my options are not as limited, because, you know, I've had like one person be like, hey, can you shoot this video for me? And hey, also, can you do my photos for my album cover and design my album? And I was like, sure. So I, like, did the photography, and then I pulled it into Photoshop, and, you know, I made the album, and then I also had the video for it. So it's like,
yep.
And the only
you
thing
had more to offer.
Yeah, you just have so much more.
It's like, it's just basically it's less friction for that artist, because usually they have to have like 5 people to do all those things.
Yeah, well, and
more items on the invoice too.
Yeah, it's more items on the invoice, and the reason I say do more is just because once you get professional, then you can just get really good at one thing. Like, people make a living off being a focus puller in movies, and for everyone that doesn't know what that means, it's
I don't either.
Rack focusing is literally somebody's entire job. They get paid like $100,000 a year or more, is sitting with a external monitor while the main guy is holding the giant red camera, or like whatever, Ari Alexa is what they use in movies. And literally,
he's educated.
All they do is they sit with this dial like you have on your UAD thing over there, and they manually pull the focus. And that's like their whole job. So
they're just focusing the camera the whole time.
That's it. They're like, when it pans over and it's like a slow focus. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Their whole life is all about turning a knob, and they get paid 6 figures for it. So when you get to that level, yeah, specialize. But now, when you're a freelancer,
yep, and you're trying to get work,
and
you'll find, like, something that happens is you
just can't put food on the table doing one thing.
Stuff that you like, and that's honestly, something that we've talked about before. That's just like how you found stuff that you like to do, Dusty. Like, you came here thinking that you're going to be an audio engineer.
And that's a big hell nah.
Yeah, and like he went like as far away as you could get, like slowly.
Yeah,
you know, it was like, oh, I'll do songwriting. But I would rather do that. And then he started into graphic design, and then now he's managing a studio, and it's like,
yeah.
But he still does all of what he did before. He still enjoys it.
I still do graphic design daily at the studio, just because. obviously I'm trying to implement like memes and stuff just because that's what gets people's attention.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be like, memes are just thrown together. Everybody's a graphic designer when it comes to memes.
Yeah, but I mean, you've done other stuff already.
I've done
stuff for the
yeah.
Instagram and website and.
But I want to. This new idea that I have is like just a high quality meme. You know what I mean? That's.
There's something about that.
Those words don't quite go together very well.
Very like a polished meme. People are like, wait a minute, is this a meme or is this like not a joke or what's going on? And it's been
it's like meme inception.
Yeah, kind of.
Wow.
Memeception.
We'll see how it works. I don't know, cool idea.
But my point is that you got to all that from coming here and saying I want to be an audio engineer, and that's what I came here and did. Now I think that I think it takes a certain type of person to really enjoy sitting down and mixing. Not 100%. Saying that you don't, but I really like when I get like new plugins and shit and like start hacking away at songs and like come up with ideas and stuff. There's no other feeling like that to me. Based on some of the things that I've done. But those moments are rare.
I can't
get
into
I'm chasing
that mode
the whole time.
For me,
it's not a mode. It's I tell you, it's
a personality.
It's really not. It's like to get to one of those points where I get super excited and super just into it. It's just like a hit and miss thing. You never know. You could be having the best day and you come in the studio and nothing goes as planned. Or you could go and be having the worst day and come into the studio, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to try this. And then with sound, it's different because you can guess how it's going to sound, but you don't know. With editing video, you know how it's going to look for the most part. You can have more of an idea, I would say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With sound, it's different. You never know what you're going to get. It's like putting, when they first teach us that you can put two songs or the same song on two different tracks and invert one of them and move it a little bit and it pulls the vocals out.
Wow.
And you don't know, how do you know that's going to, you know what I'm saying? Like you can guess on different things with sound. Like that's kind of one of those things that they taught us that it was like, you this is what's going to happen damn near every time. But you'd start trying different stuff in the studio, different stuff like I did with Daniel that you've asked me about.
Right,
it's like,
yeah.
We only came up with that because I was like, yo, let's see how this sounds. And actually, Daniel and I talked about that the other day because we were working on his EP, and he was like we were talking about how when I came up with the idea of doing something like that, he was kind of like, nah. And I was like, dude, just give me a day. Like, give me a couple days. And then I'll send you something, or you can come over or whatever and hear it. And then
before Dan was a roommate.
Yeah. And he just he was more into it, and he was like, I see where this is going. And then he was like, well, let's put it at the end of the first chorus, going into the second verse. And I was like, okay. So then we started getting into it and started like coming up with different ideas that way. But we didn't know how any of that stuff was going to sound because we actually kind of just haphazardly threw together some ideas. We were like, well, let's do this and then do this and do this. And then it was like, this sounds cool.
That's exactly what
it's kind of like a freak accident.
Yeah. Well, no, that's exactly what my editing is in Final Cut. It's like literally, the best way I can tell people when they're like, how'd you think of this? And I was like, well, it was 4 a.m. I was extremely sleep deprived, and that's when I have my best ideas.
Yeah.
Because I just literally was like, how many like shitty like transitions can I throw in on this? And then one time one would be like, oh, that looked kind of cool. I'm going to go download a sound effect for that. And then I'm like, wow, that was really cool. Like,
Damn.
So like, that's literally how I do everything is I just throw spaghetti at the wall, like a whole thing. And then like 5 of them will stick and I'll be like, oh, okay.
I'll take those.
Yeah, I'll take those. So
I think that's how a lot of creative stuff in general happens.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know what it is about
same with Photoshop
audio that just kind of
you'd be lost in there all day.
I just got kind of stuck to it to that, and also maybe
I don't know
it was
how to
just
experiment. I literally every time I do audio, it's just I balance levels and then I do plugins on the instruments.
When did you start learning about what was your first experience with audio? What did you do? Was it a mix?
Yeah, Maccabee
Okay.
gave me all the stems and said, just balance these levels. Don't even put plugins.
Okay,
on
see,
things.
that's where it's different for me and you, because when I started with music, I started with just making stuff. So I started.
Well, I mean, I
with,
started by playing music. That was how I
right,
started.
but I didn't even have any music knowledge. So I had zero music theory knowledge and any idea about what music was really, except for what it was to me. And then I just started making it with like drum machines and stuff, and then sounds like with keyboard. But I didn't know what I was playing.
I got a machine 2 years before I ever started mixing, and I did it for a while. But like, you're right. I never could figure out like anything more than some simple ass beats on the machine.
And see, all I wanted to do was
Same,
like I said, I used to
I've
listen
not-
to a bunch of Mike Will stuff, and I would watch his videos and just like watch people make beats. So, you know how people make those like how to make this beat video or whatever.
Yeah.
I just watched different people in the studio all the time, and that's all I wanted to do was make beats. That's it.
Yeah.
So I was always trying to come up with some weird shit, like some weird sounds or whatever. That's where I kind of got my start in it, and then mixing came down the line for me. I mean, I started trying to mix like 2 years in, but it was garbage until like
that's why I told you that
3 years after that.
Yeah, that's why I told you that I liked your mixing style, and I keep like telling you about it, but not really knowing where to go with it. And I just keep like, I literally just keep bringing it up to you, like, hey, we should do something cool. I don't know what it is, but like I'm just gonna re-say it.
No, I agree though. We should. I think
yeah,
we could do something dope.
is
I'd
'cause
like to do a music video.
I want that. I can do that on and see, this is what I
You
was.
can do that with video.
This is what I'm talking about with those symbiotic relationships that are how important collaboration is. I can do enough to get by, but I need to work with other people who can do more than me still, and it's really all about what can we do together type thing. And like, if you can bring like that weirdness, you know, that 4 a.m. spaghetti, if you can bring that shit, I can bring the 4 a.m. spaghetti on the video. So
I'll bring the garlic bread.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, if you can bring the garlic bread, like that, you know, those, and then the last thing, you know, we would need is like somebody to do good graphics and make, you know, like some way to make it out to the social media. Because that's what I'm saying. Like this is like the triangle.
That's a trifecta right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, and
100%.
this is all true creative.
The key, yeah.
This is exactly all true creative.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'll see, like, I think what it is, a big part of it is when you have different people that are better in, like, fill in the gaps for the other people. We start, like, I'll come up with a creative audio idea, and you will match that with a creative video idea, or any combination of that with graphics as well. You'll come up with our whole podcast cover is because you had a funny idea.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's literally, and then he made us into cartoons and was like, oh, well, I'm gonna put this in a fist with a little wrist. And then he put like flares off of it, and then he's like, give me your gold watch. And took a picture of my gold watch on the wall and then put it on our cover and was like, oh, that'd be funny. Like, that's cool.
Yep.
But
That was the first, well, it was like the first week I got Photoshop.
Nice.
Yeah. The first night I made the cartoons.
But see what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like that is literally how all true creative has an entire staff and studio, is because they just finally found
3
people.
studios.
Yeah, it's because they finally found people that could be put together and work on bigger things, which is the whole reason I'm desperately trying to collaborate with so many people, is because I do not want to go get like a normal day job. Like I would much rather like your job is not a normal day job.
Mine
But,
is.
you're still working at Coke.
Mine is. No, I'm at Ajax now, so I do the same, pretty much roughly the same shit, but with beer.
Beer.
Yeah. See, it's fine. I did it for a while. you
No,
know?
I get it. No, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah,
like
I don't knock
didn't.
the grind, but
No,
I
hate it.
I hate it.
Like, don't get me wrong, my new job's a lot better than Coke was.
yeah,
But it still sucks that I have to go to work Monday through Friday.
yeah.
I mean, versus doing this.
I do part time at studio as kind of like and the only reason I'm okay with it is because they pay me to book shows and make videos for them and make flyers. So, and then
You still get to do cool shit.
yeah, and see, that's an even a good example of like why I say I want to do everything, is because when I'm like Daniel's show, I was running audio, I was taking pictures, I was doing the lighting, and I booked it. You know, so it's like when I'm able to do that, I'm able to just tell my boss, like, hey, how about you pay me a lot more? Like, because you don't have to have 3 people on staff to do this, you know, like, so there's just,
you have leverage.
Yeah. It's
That's
like
exactly
leverage.
what it is.
But yeah, the ultimate idea is I would love to find a way to make something like All True creative, because it really is just like, if you can find people that are passionate and who are willing to invest, which is really hard.
That's the hardest part.
That's why I keep posting on Instagram.
That's one of the hardest parts.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Is
Yeah,
like,
you're probably right. It's probably the hardest part. Nobody invests in it.
no,
Do you
it's-
realize how hard it is to get money from anybody for anything?
well, it's hard to find people who just have 10 grand laying around that they're willing to spend on something that they
Well,
don't,
it's
you
not
know.
that. I'll tell you what a big thing of it is that it's hard to find people that aren't willing to have the newest, greatest, latest shit and sacrifice something for what else they want, because they're like, oh, well, I'm going to spend $500 on a new interface to record audio with. And they're like, oh, I should get $500 out of my next project. No, you idiot. That's not how it works. It's an investment for yourself.
Yeah.
It's an investment for you. That's why, I bought a machine because I thought it was cool and I want to make beats.
Yeah.
So I've had that thing forever, and now we get a sample deck for the podcast. Like, it compounds. It's like exponential.
Accumulated depreciation. Over time, it pays for itself.
Yeah,
It's an
exactly.
accounting term.
Exactly. It really does, though. Like, if you're not willing to do, willing to hustle, like, you're not gonna make your money back. But
Yeah.
I've made.
See, Dusty's got
I
it
don't know if
easy. He just creates from the brain, and it doesn't require anything other than a Photoshop license.
Which
Maybe,
is dope.
yeah, maybe a
Yeah.
Cintiq tablet one day or something. But
Hey, I actually do have. Oh, I don't actually know what a Cintiq tablet is, but
it's
I
the Wacom, whatever.
Oh, okay. So I do have one of those then. Yeah.
It is the pro grade version. It's
Okay.
the Raven version.
I have the one that's just like it's like as
like a
big
pad.
as an yeah.
Yeah, the Cintiq is like the Slate Digital Raven. it's touchscreen.
Big
You draw
touchscreen.
right on it. It's a big old boy.
See, dude,
That'd be
Photoshop
cool.
controls are
it would be unreal what
2,000.
I could.
same price almost as that one.
Honestly, dude.
Is that one like 10 grand?
Yeah, that one's 10.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, I think one day I might be able to operate one of those.
Yeah.
I might. I got.
They have them at school.
I got a plan. Do they
really?
really?
Yeah, in the fishbowl. You
I
know what I'm talking
never,
about? There's like 4 of them in there.
ever,
Dude,
ever
you should see if you can go
knew.
in there.
Yeah, just go in there.
really?
Yeah.
I'm an alum. I got my ID.
There you go.
Tell me to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
I got my ID.
I paid my dues.
Oh man, that's something for me to think about, though. Definitely something
Yeah,
we
man.
could do more chatting about, I'd say.
I know. We just gotta. I mean, it's still like when I'm, I have this, and I still feel like there is more video things that I'm missing before I could really do, like. It's like you can make really good things. I don't know. I still feel like my production is somewhat limited with this, which is why I've been looking like really hard for like audio people, because my audio is super limited. I don't have the nicest microphones, and I have decent preamps, but like I don't know. I have and
Audio people are gonna
yeah.
hate me for saying this, but it's a conversation me and Dusty been having a lot. It doesn't really matter.
Really.
So
I mean, if you
To an
place
extent-
your kid, you're correct. I should have said that.
To an extent, yeah.
If I'm wanting to record this vocal right here, and I put a mic that's specifically made for a kick drum, it's probably not going to sound as good as it could. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if I place the kick drum mic backwards on a kick, it's not going to sound great. But if you place the mic in the right spot and it can pick up the frequencies that you're trying to pick up, you can do everything in software.
Yeah.
I've done some weird shit in software to fix people's mic placements, to fix people's mistakes, to fix my mistakes. I mean, I've fucked up before and like, shit, like that mic fell on the floor. What am I going to do?
I've had that happen.
You know what I'm saying? I imagine you have with shows and stuff.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine you have, and you gotta improvise.
Yeah.
You know, you got to come up with something.
I had a guitar mic. It was a sling, and the guitar mic just fell onto the ground, and it was facing up as it was shooting out. And I don't remember what I did. I
Sucks.
had to like boost the like 3 to 7K, just like the harmonics of it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just really harsh, but
Yep.
that was the only way I could hear the guitar.
And for like one in a million chances that you're like, oh, I hope this picked up in another mic.
Yeah,
like,
it didn't.
Yep. So you have to do something. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, like if you don't have something weird like that, or
Hey, can you punch in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for the show. Hey, dude, I need you to come back over here and record that guitar. I got the video you can play with.
Oh, I've had to do that
Really?
just once. We didn't record enable keys DI. And so I had to send
At least
them-
it was the keys.
I know.
At least it was the keys.
At least it was something on a DI.
Yeah.
You know? So I just had to
Damn.
send them the track for them to just replay the DI over, which is perfect because it doesn't have that. It's not picking up sound. You
Yeah,
know?
right.
It's just the straight channel. So that was okay. But yeah, that was a nightmare. Okay, it did happen one other time. The snare mic wasn't on, but we had stereo overheads. So then what we did was we raised the threshold on a drum replacement software to where it only picked up the snare, and then we made a new track of just the replaced snare with the threshold. So we had the overheads, and then we had just the snare hits, but they weren't real, but it didn't matter.
You mix it in.
So yeah, mixed it in. Yeah.
Yep. I guess my point is though is that like with audio stuff, it's really I think unless you're just using shit. I mean,
Dude, the dude
you
at
know.
Walnut House ordered microphones off Wish, and he was like, "These sound great." They're like $20. It's like that shit green with like the gold capsule. You know what I'm talking
I haven't
about?
seen them.
They're just like really, really cheap Chinese microphones. And he's like, "They sound so good." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't know if I believe him, but
Right.
he's."
I mean, now
like
I don't want to say that without saying, if you spend more money on microphones, I won't say that you're gonna have the same quality recording.
Yeah,
You're gonna have
so-
better quality.
But like at
But-
Dusty's place, or like the place I was yesterday, like every time I've been in the studio, okay, shout out to this engineer, David Kalmuski. He's amazing. But every time I've been in one of these like major league studios, like the mix off the board is just like better than most of my
Butter.
friends' mixes. Yeah.
Butter.
Better than most of my friends like final mixes. I'm just
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
like they'll do like the girl. We had this
So-
girl do a roll down the drums, and it was like the most beautiful stereo pan. Like it's just like,
Yep.
and that wasn't
The way I look at it is like, how you can get like you have that camera and then I have like a Canon
we could get
Rep. Like
your camera
you
would
can-
look better than mine in good lighting if I had shitty lighting on mine. It's just like my camera. I can make my phone look better than my $4,000 equipment here if I just have good lighting on my phone.
Well,
and not on
minus the lighting, like just based on say you take the same picture in the same setting,
here. Right.
you can get through editing as long as the lighting's not like horrible or something like a normal daytime shot.
Yeah.
You could get the same look pretty much out of a picture from my camera or your camera with the same lens on it if you edited the shit out of mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or
we
it might
could-
not take as much editing as I think. I don't know. But my point is the whole reason to get a better camera is so that you have better pictures in low light. There's more things that you can get done
here's what
that
I would
also
say.
might be able to get done with a cheaper camera, but you have to spend more time editing. So my philosophy is if you spend more money, you're going to have less time editing.
Very
so
true.
if you spend more money on microphones, you're going to have less time mixing as long as you use them right. If you spend more money on camera, you have less time editing. More money on lenses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would say
it's
it's
like a scale.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. There's in audio, it's called the 80-20 rule. You have to spend 80% more to get the last 20% out of your gear. So like you can to get like a 80 out of 100, to get like a B, you can spend like cheap. But if you want to make like a 95 on that project, you're spending like 10, 20 extra grand.
Yeah.
And for video, it's kind of like, I'm going to say like 60-40. Like you can get like more than half the way there with decent gear. But if you truly want to get to like cinema level with video, or like professional photography level, you do have to spend quite a bit more. But the professional, it's like for audio, if you want to have like a professional audio thing, it's like almost $100,000, you know, to like have the studio and all the mics and everything. And that's to get that last 20%. But with video, you can probably get that at like the $5,000 range. So, but then the movie quality is still like $100,000. But you could compete with movie quality with a cinema camera at around $5,000 versus an Arri Alexa at like 100,000. So, but yeah, for audio, I think it is a little bit different. So you have to spend, I think, a lot more in audio to get that final 20%. But you can kind of get into that much larger professional range in video for a little bit less. I don't know. Audio is such weird, a weird, dude. Yeah, it's in such a weird place right now.
There's also a lot of, like I was saying earlier, there's so many different things that you can do with it, so many different applications, like people just recording a band, or just like, I'm not going to forever, and I've said this forever, I'm not going to just mix forever. Like, I'm not just gonna help people put together their albums forever. Like, it's just not so. I've never just done that anyway. Like, I'm getting more into DJing and stuff like that too, so that's gonna be another route that I take, and I don't know what it is exactly, but when you get into, if you enjoy the space that you're in, like I enjoyed audio, so I was like, try this out, try that. That's how I figured out that I could be pretty good at mixing, and I enjoy it. But I think there's things that are more enjoyable. Like, it does get monotonous.
Same with editing.
But yeah, there's that in anything, that you're gonna pick. But through trying different stuff, that's why you and I are even having the conversation about me trying different stuff later, because you can get into it from just getting into one thing. So, you know what I mean? Like, it can kind of, so audio, I don't know, audio's in a weird spot, but I feel like a lot of people that look at audio stuff just think about, like, I'm going to record albums and mix, and you don't have to. Like,
no,
there's so much, like I said, I know somebody that does a podcast now. Like, I know people that make plugins. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't know shit. There was a kid in my class that made
that's a little bit more specialized and harder to get into,
but you also have to understand audio.
Yeah. No, I think it's the exact same thing as the dude making $100K turning a knob for a living. Like, it's
they're not going to pay anybody to turn that knob.
Yeah, it's the man that probably knows every single thing about film and like lighting and cameras. You know,
he knows why he's turning that knob when, and he understands the whole thing.
Exactly. The
and
person
to do
that knows
one
why.
thing, you have to understand a lot.
And he knows how much breath he has to take to keep from. You know.
It's like, it's kind of like you, like. If I'm like, hey, will you make me a business card design? By the way, I need a new business card design. And
$1 billion.
Okay.
It's okay. There you go.
But it's like me asking you to do that, but the only reason you know how to do that is because you know how to use Photoshop, you know how to get the files that you need, you know how to style.
I know the dimensions.
You know
for
the
business.
dimensions. It's a big deal. Like, you know all that stuff. So, like, I'm not gonna ask. Like, I probably wouldn't go to Garrett to get my business cards done. I'd go to him to get some photos done. You know what I'm saying? I'd go to you because you know more of that, like, graphic editing and stuff like that. Like, you're making a text right now, for God's sakes.
Making a font. Yeah,
which is
amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
That's
all
awesome.
26 characters.
Cool.
Luckily, I don't have to do the numbers, but I'm going to throw in the numbers for free just because, hey, you want to make people happy.
Yeah, that's how you work. That's nice.
But I'm not going to they only want uppercase,
that's clutch.
Which is cool, yeah.
That's huge.
And I would argue
because it's an intricate design.
I would argue that lowercase letters would be harder to make, but also now that I'm finding more out about making a font, once you get to a certain extent within the alphabet, you can kind of take bits and pieces and just, chop it up and throw it where you need to. So once you start to get working on it, the rest finishes up a lot quicker.
Yeah.
It can be, once you're trying to find the style and everything at first, that's what's the most time consuming. But once you get like that nailed down, the look that you're going for, you can pretty much just hash out the rest of it.
That's cool.
Quickly.
How's that going, by the way?
It's going good. on second round of drafts, and then I've already sent over second rounds, but now I'm working on third round drafts. I'm doing it in like sections right now.
Of the alphabet?
Of the alphabet. So the first 7 letters were like within the band's names that I did first, so that they could see their name in the font. You know, it helps them connect with it easier. But then I'm gonna do the next batches are gonna be, so there's 26 letters in the alphabet. So I was gonna do, I think 9 and 1. So 9. I don't know what the math was, but I'm gonna do them in batches. So just third it out. So I've already done essentially a third. So,
Nice.
But yeah, it's going good.
That's dope.
Do you feel like it helps you to, like split up your work like that? Is that like a common technique or?
You know, actually, yeah. I would say working out of a couple different Photoshop projects sometimes on certain things can be helpful. Or maybe just like different pages within the same Photoshop project. I should start doing that. I don't know why I don't do that.
I'm just trying to figure out ways to manage my life.
But like, so like for
Good
instance,
question.
a lot of design has a bunch of individual pictures that you have to put together to make the whole big picture of whatever the design is. So like just for instance of some crazy cover art that I've done before is like, so I had to, first off, it was essentially just 3 cohesive layers that I had to put together first. So it was like a space background, like these cartoons of the artists, and then, you know, it was like, I don't know, something else, like Earth and something else that I had. So I basically had 3 things that I needed to create. So I had so many layers going into each of those. It was way too hard to do. You know, it was way too hard to manage that project if I'm creating everything within the same, same project.
A ton of layers and stuff too.
Yeah, just a ton of stuff to make like one individual aspect of the overall
Can you
graphic.
do like groups of layers?
You can do groups of layers. You just put them in a folder.
Yeah.
And
Like
you
in
can
groups on
edit.
Pro
So
Tools.
Usually after I make it in one project, I'll send it over into like the whole picture project as a folder.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just drag it as a folder. That way, like, you know, I've essentially got that already edited and nailed down to what I want it to be in this project. So I can just drag over the group just in case there's like any last minute edits that I want to do. I can click it open and adjust whatever I need.
So you can go into each layer from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's easier to work on your whole bigger picture when you've already done all the messy work in a different project.
Right.
Because, I don't know, it's just cleaner pulling it over to the finalized project. It makes it easier, I feel like. But
So you
kind of do that with
split
the
it up like
alphabet
that?
too. Like that's what I've been doing with the font too, working from 2 different. Because they sent me a bunch of reference pictures for like different idealistic feature or visual features that they might want in the alphabet. So I'm just I'm just chopping and shopping. Is it record? Okay, I'm
There
back.
we go.
And the band, I'm doing a font for a band. They're called The Reveal.
Okay.
And they used to be the No Name Blues,
Oh yeah.
but maybe I shouldn't have.
We can bleep the name out.
Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
you probably
fine.
weren't supposed to drop that
I
knowledge
probably
out
wasn't
here.
supposed to drop that. See, I never signed a non-disclosures or No, I'm just kidding.
You know how it be.
But anyway, yeah, and this is the first font I've made.
That's a
So are they going to use the font for things?
so that's that's so dope.
Yeah.
So
Which is so cool.
I'm
That
just
is
gonna
very
I'm gonna
cool.
go ahead and say it. I hope you're getting paid.
Money.
Yes. I won't go into detail, but
Okay, that's all I
yes.
wanted to say.
Yeah. Dude, I will
Because
tell
that's
you
an
this.
intricate project, but that's another
I will
good
tell you
example
this.
of
I
what.
won't tell you how much I'm getting paid, but I will tell you how much someone quoted them. And I guess what they're
For a font?
for a font. Yeah,
well, imagine it's
they were
hefty.
going to charge them $1,500 to $2,000 for a
Sounds
font.
right.
It's crazy.
And I was like, dude, what the hell? I said, there's no way I'm charging you that. That's crazy. I mean,
It's
probably worth that, honestly.
I mean, I could say easily it could be worth that, but
it's our level.
You have to think about where you're at and who you're working with.
Yeah.
It's a thing that it's just you have to. And I mean, I honestly think that it's a good. I'm glad that we're around a bunch of people in a way that do a lot of similar things, because if you want to try to run somebody for their money, they can just go to the next person.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the last thing.
In some way, shape, or form, unless you have something significant to bring to the table. But also, if you're still trying to be an asshole about money, you're not going to get a lot of gigs. Like, you're not going to get, even if that one person pays you, you're not going to get a bunch of money from another person, I don't think.
No.
Because that word gets around that you're just trying to, like, I get that people want to make money, but that's been always my philosophy with working with people.
I like to create. The money is just coincidence.
I mean,
it's a byproduct.
I started, I did this video for Drake. It was 2 songs.
Drake Freeman?
Yeah. Okay, so I've done
Let's clarify here.
Yeah. Drake Freeman. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Was it God's plan?
Yeah, for sure, man. No. So I made 4 live videos for Drake Freeman, and I think I charged him a total of $50. So, like, because I just was the last 2 I shot for free.
Good for you,
and
dude.
the first 2 I shot for $50.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, look, man, I just want to experiment. Like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to do this, and if it turns out cool, it turns out cool. You got a video. If not, trash, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, but yeah, so you have to do the free work. People are like,
Yes.
I get hit. It's really funny by, like, the amount of, like, local, like, mixtape dudes that send me their, like, mixtape, or they send me, like, they'll, like, hit me up and be like, hey, man, how do I get paid for audio or something? Because they think I, like, get paid for audio, like, regularly, because I post, like, music videos or something.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. But, but it's like, it's happened like 4 times, and they're like, yo, like, do you want to collab? Like, these are my rates. And I'm like,
what?
And I'm like, yeah, what? Like, who have you worked with or anything? Like, oh, I don't do free work, but I haven't worked with anyone. And I'm like,
oh my gosh, that's why you haven't worked with anyone.
And I'm like,
and I do want to say, this is kind of a little tangent here, but I do want to make this point that I want you to know that you were my first paid graphic design work ever.
Was I really?
And I really appreciate it.
No problem.
I really
worth
appreciate it.
Yeah, if I'm gonna pay for something, like,
dude, I can't
if
tell
I
you.
want something, I'm gonna pay for it, and that also means that you have to listen to me complain about all the things that I want right.
Yeah,
so.
but see, the way I look at that is like I don't care how many times.
Yeah.
I'm going to work until whoever's at the receiving end is happy. Just because.
Yeah, you've always been like that.
Yeah, even though sometimes it can bite you in the ass.
I'll be like, yo,
I'm getting bit right now.
I'll be like, yo, are you still working on that, dude?
Yeah.
I'll be like, you still working on that? He'll be like, dude, it's not right.
Yeah.
It's just not right.
I mean, all the videos that I did, like the session with Brista Maroney that I just released today, like, that was all
Speaking
free.
of that, we'll play a song soon. We'll take a little break.
Yeah, I got a pee, so that would be awesome.
But yeah, that, like, I would say probably 75%, probably more than that. I have 30 or 40 videos out on my YouTube right now.
Which is dope, by the way. We'll link in the description for anybody that wants to see.
I have like another 40 in the workshop right now. And I think probably, so that's 80. And I think probably like...
Build that catalog, bro. Do you have a website?
Oh, yeah, kirkwoodlive.com.
Okay.
There it is.
70, probably like 65 out of 80 of them I did for free. So, like...
Yes.
And those 15 that I got paid for, I got paid pretty damn well.
The thing on paid work, though, the thing that it does is that... Because a lot of people I hear say, like, I don't want to do free work. I had a couple friends that were like that, like, hardcore. Like, I'm not getting paid, so... And I was like, yo, how are you going to know... How are they going to know that they want to pay you if you don't show your work?
Right.
How do they see what you can do if you're going to do everything for a high rate that no one knows that they can pay you?
Hey, and just to put it into perspective, like, this isn't just at our level of, wherever we are in our careers. This is like even Grammy award-winning producers are still going to labels and like, hey, let me give you a mix on this album, and because they'll have a couple different engineers mix a song for free, and whoever does it
they do that
best.
Yeah.
It's,
and then you get your name on that.
Yeah. You gotta do stuff.
And then also, you don't always do it for just your name on it either.
You gotta just show what you can do.
Yeah, that's literally. I met a guy today. Before I did this little short film. Wow. So like everything I'm doing this week, everything I've done this week has been for free. I shot 2 videos for Drake for free.
Freeman.
Yeah, Drake Freeman. And today I went and I picked up a studio edit for this guy from Snarky Puppy, which is going to be great. Yeah, I shot a video for him, and they were like, yeah, we don't have anyone to edit it. I'm going to edit it. And I was like, have you ever edited before? And he was like, no, not really. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna edit this video for you guys. I was like, I just, as long as my name's on it and I get to be associated with some of the dudes from Snarky Puppy, I was like, that'll be good for me.
And sometimes you accidentally wind up in those situations too, because I did that yesterday.
Yeah, and it's like, and then the short film that I am filming with my friend, I'm doing for free. Everything that I usually do is so I can pivot myself or put myself a little bit closer to that next step, that next rung of the ladder.
And it's also building connections.
Yeah, it's building connections, it's networking, and it's gaining experience. And sometimes
that's another huge part of it.
I don't know when I will ever get the chance. Okay. So the productions that I was on yesterday was probably like $30,000 or $40,000 production. And the one I was on a couple days ago was like a $10,000 production. I don't know when I will, probably more than that, when I will be able to be on another production like that and be the editor for it. Like it is very rare that, like, because usually you have to be one of the people putting up that money to like be at that level of you're getting to do the main job of putting all the work together for the final product. So like, that's why I was like, you know what? I will do this for free because this is my chance to work. We had like 5 cinema
This is
cameras.
your chance to get another gig.
Yeah, this is my chance to put my name on something that could be really like big. And it doesn't even have to be really big.
You can just show what you can do.
I can send this to someone
with a high level of production.
With high level production, with a high value client. And it's like, I'm not getting paid for it, but this is something that's going to be permanently on my resume. It's going to be the first thing I send people. In your
portfolio.
Yeah, it's going to be like the first thing I send people. Like, you've heard of this band, right? Yeah, here's the video I did for them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
let's just take a look at. Can we, like, in the YouTube video? Can we actually play in their Kirkwood live YouTube video for these songs?
As long as you're cool with it.
Yeah.
We'll just play the songs for now, but for the YouTube video, we'll cut the video in.
Okay.
Give us a little intro on the song. Who's the first one that I downloaded?
The first dude we got up is one of my good friends. His name's Brista Maroney. He is an Atlantic Records / Canvasback Music Records artist out of Nashville, and we had him for an event called The Big Scary. It was awesome. It was in Nashville. We had about 400 people come out, and he was one of our co-headliners. So Bristen's an indie rock artist, and he's going on a European tour coming up. Yeah.
And this is
Little Wrist, Big Fist.
Yo.
What's up, guys? You having any remote amount of fun? Holy shit! All right, dude. This is a punk-ass punk song, so get ready to go crazy, dude. Y'all like Green Day? All right, genuinely just wondering. This is not a Green Day song. Thank you. Should I be happy if the best part of today was that I didn't lose my mind when I drove home? I guess the little things add up along the way, and how I should have known you wouldn't come alone. Somebody tried being honest with me, and I guess there are worse ways to go. it tell me I've gone too far. I wanna laugh at the blue lights that pass by, 'cause no handcuffs can hold me back the way you do with your heart. Consider this my confession. Your love's my obsession. Go ahead and sentence me to life. Lie me down on the table. And if I were able, I'd scream your name until they hit the line. Said your name 3 times today, but I held my tongue before I spoke again. I took my dog down to the park, he ran away. How I wish he knew I felt the same as him. Damn it, that's a true story. Somebody tried being honest with me, and I guess there is less I could know. But I want to run down the freeway at midnight, middle finger to road signs that tell me I've gone too far. I want to laugh at the blue lights that pass by, 'cause no handcuffs can hold me back the way you do with your heart. Consider this my confession. Your love's my obsession. Go ahead and sentence me to life. Lie me down on the table. And if I were able, I'd scream your name until they hit the lights. Thank you guys very much. Thank you guys very much. Freaking out on the interstate, rolling down the windows, baby, I can't hear a thing you say. I'm walking back to my favorite place, and I can feel them staring at me. Baby, do you think I'm doing something wrong? And you got a lot on your mind, and your heart, it looks just like mine. There's no use in wasting your time anymore. I'm sorry I haven't been myself. Something's got me down. What it is, I cannot tell. I won't be terrified with anything I've earned. Fear is just a part of love, and one thing I found is love is what you deserve. I'm driving home and call my father on the telephone. I hope you know I miss you, man. Let's put it all behind us if we can. Never feeling like I'm all the way home. And stones inside my raincoat pocket I gotta keep, but won't you hold them for me? And you got a lot on your mind, and your heart, it looks just like mine. And there's no use in wasting your time anymore. I'm sorry I haven't been myself, and something's got me down. What it is I cannot tell. I won't be terrified with anything I've earned. Fear is just a part of love, and one thing I've found is love is what you deserve. Haven't been myself. Something's got me down. What it is I cannot tell. I won't be terrified with anything I've earned. Fear is just a part of love, and one thing I've found is love is what you deserve. Thank you. That goes out to all the jazz fans in the crowd. Wow, that was awesome. Dude, thank you guys for singing along, man. That was crazy. It means a lot, man.